Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Just Us Marks Wrestling Recap Show. I am the Athletic Geek, joined on the other end of the tin cannon string by EZ.
Good evening and happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Yes, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Sue, I really hope you're listening.
Who? Sue?
Sue, yes.
Yes, we gotta have, big shout out to the ultimate mom, Sue.
God, imagine that for a Geeking Out podcast. You interview Sue.
I'd love that.
Sorry, I'm still under the weather, unfortunately.
I'm getting there. But,
Yeah.
Anyway, if you've never seen this show before, this is the Just Us Marks Wrestling Recap Show. I'm at EZ at All In and Starcast. We love wrestling. We love talking about wrestling. We love sharing love of pro wrestling with each and every one of you out there. However, just like each and every one of you out there, we are just fans. Our opinions are that any other fan. We avoid insider terms because we are not insiders. We are not wrestlers. We are just marks. Really interesting week in wrestling. A really good week in wrestling. I think across the board, all the shows were really good. So we're actually going to start this show off a little hot, and we're going to talk about Dynamite. We're going to light the fuse and bring the boom a little earlier this week.
Oh, yeah.
So Dynamite opens up with what they called a double Jeopardy rules match, with the winner getting a future title shot at the other person's belt, with one half of the ROH Tag Team Championship, Rey Fenix versus Claudio Castagnoli, the ROH World Champion. I really like this match. I also like the fact that Claudio Castagnoli won, because I'm kind of curious to see if it's going to be him and Wheeler, or him and Bryan, or him and Mox going after the ROH tag titles. I feel like with Bryan, since that's one belt in Ring of Honor he never had, that'd be a cool storyline to go with. But I don't know. What say you?
Oh, I unfortunately I missed a bit of the opening, but I did see a little bit of the ending, and honestly, great match. That's the best way I can put it. But yeah, well, I like to see how this progressive. So I thought it's a little tad confusing when you have a stable in multiple rivalries. It's I kind of just like the story to just stay on one end here.
Well, one's a Ring of Honor. I get what you're saying, because
yeah, I know it's Ring of Honor,
because this is a Ring of Honor storyline. I get what you're saying, because now they have Honor Club. They shouldn't really be doing this as much.
Ring of Honor doesn't have a show.
Well, it does, because I end up shelling out the money to pay for it. But you're right.
Yeah.
It does have a show.
Rampage, I kind of get it, but I'm not saying this should have been a Rampage. But still, though, with what was happening, in the upcoming main event, it's I kind of want to still watch and process Blackpool Combat Club, the Elite.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but technically this is a Ring of Honor based story, and the Elite and Blackpool Combat Club is an AEW story.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than the fact that it was a good match, it probably, this would have. I wouldn't be considering not renewing my subscription to Honor Club if this match would have taken place on the ROH show.
No, I still don't have Honor Club. I'm just not yet.
They don't have enough classic content on it to really sell me on it just yet.
Party. Just rewatch the day that changed our lives. Sorta.
Yeah. All right.
I think your doggo agrees.
Yes, exactly. FTR segment where they responded to Jarrett and Lethal's challenge. We're getting another fucking Jeff Jarrett title match on a pay-per-view. Ray.
This was a bit of a mess.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I get what they were going for, and I get the story they're trying to tell with planting the seeds of doubt into Mark Briscoe's head, but yeah,
I'm sorry, but it still just seems too soon to kind of bring him into any sort of wrestling storyline. Like many, like
No,
I mean, I get it. Some of us grieve differently, but it's just
yeah, exactly. That's not how he grieves, so he's fine with it. So who in the fuck
I
are any of
guess,
us
but
to tell Mark Briscoe, who might need this to help him with this whole situation, not to be in it?
I will admit, like saying like Lethal Jared and like all of those guys like on the Briscoe farm, I will admit I was laughing way too hard. It's like this is probably the funniest thing ever, but still though it's like I'm just not really getting into this storyline rivalry.
I'm not
or
getting
just
into it because
this
it's Jeff
rivalry.
Jarrett, and I'm just not that into Jeff
I
Jarrett
could
right
care
now.
less if Jeff Jarrett's in this. It's just eh. Unless Dax's daughter has the match with Sanjay Singh.
Sanjay Dutt,
Yes.
you mean?
Or sorry, yes. Sorry.
Uh,
Unless we could see that again, she just breaks the pants or just like kicks him right in the gonads. I would love that. And then one day we will have -1 versus MJF.
Tony Khan made a huge announcement by saying there's going to be an announcement a week. This following week.
No! Stop with the fucking announcements.
Y'all get mad at us when we make
it.
fun of this, but when the announcement is that there is an announcement. Oh, and by the way, we should also mention that Miro went into what he thought was Tony Khan's office, as did Thunder Rosa, and then he made an appearance making the announcement that he's going to make an announcement.
Okay. I almost thought Statlander came back, but I realized, oh wait, it was Thunder Rosa. I'm like, oops. But I mean, hey, I didn't recognize it was Thunder Rosa without her actual makeup on. But glad to see Miro is back.
Alive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not with the wife, but oh well. Well, not with her on the show. And hey, I want to see Lana.
Just the whole this is everybody on the internet gets butthurt at all of us making fun of Tony Khan doing this sort of thing. It's like he's brilliant. Like, come on, you can't be that far up his ass that you can't admit that this is like to the point of parody now.
I mean, it's at the point where it's like, okay, if the AEW fans are going to make fun of the WWE's booking, there's a good reason why WWE fans, the WWE Universe, will make fun of AEW because we have another Tony Khan announcement. I'm like, oh, kill me now.
Next match
And I'm
was
still waiting for the video game.
an international championship match. Orange Cassidy versus Daniel Garcia. This was really good. Orange Cassidy doing probably the best work of his career right now. Yeah. Really
It's also been a year, almost a year, since he came out to Jane. So he got a good reaction with it. Personally.
Christian Cage did an interview. Good interview.
And Detroit just near giving him nuclear heat at this point.
Yeah, I mean, does his job well.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that I want to see more from AEW. More on that later.
Yeah. And we heard a hilarious Edge's better chant.
They had a no-holds-barred match.
But that's beside the point.
Between Julia Hart and Anna JAS. Look,
Yeah.
I wanted to like this match. I like the wrestlers involved in this match, but it just didn't deliver for me.
I mean, it's
And I appreciate the fact they had a secondary, they're giving more attention. Hey, here's a women's rivalry without one of the belts on the line, I can appreciate that, and I like that.
Belts?
I like that.
What belts?
Like that. It didn't have belts, so that means it's building the division. They actually have women's matches that are not about the TBS title, the world title, or anything of that nature. So in that sense, I really like what they're doing. This just didn't deliver to me. I didn't know who to root for because you have a member of the Jericho Appreciation Society
That was the one
who's a
problem
villainess,
is
and then you have Julia, who's with the House of Black, who's also a villainess. So
it's like it's okay if we have like two like heroes fighting between one another. Like it's fair because everyone's going to cheer for somebody, but when you have two villains involved, it's like who do we root for here? It's like trying to watch like the Joker save the world by fighting off Lex Luthor. I'm like, who do we cheer for?
yeah.
The match was okay, but
yeah, it's okay. I wanted to really be
not because they clearly did not land on the chairs.
No.
So nice try, Excalibur.
Trios Championship match next. The Best Friends and Bandito versus the House of Black. Again, like, they really touted the House Rules match, but, like, it just felt like another match.
It literally felt like dark.
Yeah, it just felt
the
like...
lights, make it dark.
Yeah, like, it just... felt like this match should have been the proverbial banger, but it to me, it was okay, and that's disappointing.
And at least it's the first House of Black match, or like open house rules or whatever. And I get like maybe they'll do some tinkering with it, just try to make it more demonic or exciting or so. Again, I thought it was okay.
It was okay, but with everyone involved, it should have been better than okay.
Yeah.
Get to the main event. Steel cage match between Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley. This was a really good match. Again, like, it's kind of weird. It's like, it was a good match, but, like, when you think Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley, you expect match of the year, and, like, they've never had that truly epic match. So the one time they were the closest, it was soured by something that wasn't either guy's fault. But, like, again, this is a really good match, but just wasn't...
Hey, I was at full gear for their unsanctioned match. I thought that was probably one of the best matches I've ever seen. I don't care what people say that like there's too much blood involved or look too violent. It's like that's exactly.
I just thought it sucked.
Match was.
I mean, like I'm fine with the idea that I don't care about the blood. I just thought like kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Again, Carlos, given the people involved and given the people involved in what they're capable of, all their like their best matches have just been like good or really good. Yeah. They don't have that next level epic match.
Yeah. I think this third encounter between these two.
This is the fourth.
Or fourth, okay, but I actually thought this match was a bit of a good banger. Just definitely keep it on pins and needles.
It was a good match, but like when I compare it to some of the other matches, that have happened this year, when I compare it to Mox's match with Hangman, when I compare it to, and this is how objective, I mean, Kenny's match with Ospreay, when I compare it to other matches that have happened in wrestling all over the place, like Bryan and MJF, like quite a bit of the WrestleMania card, and yes, other than, missing the mark on the who won in the main event. Quite a bit on WrestleMania was better than this. I'm stuff I'm seeing in New Japan right now. It's just like this should have been in the conversation again, but once again, it's like it wasn't bad. It was a really good match, but it wasn't great. And when I think Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley, like, when are you gonna guys have your But the match wasn't the story. The finish was the story with Don Callis. After Kenny Omega had the match won, It's the One-Winged Angel. Don Callis turns on Kenny Omega.
And
Yeah.
I, as much as, everyone will call Don Callis a piece of shit and everything, including yours truly here, I did not see that coming.
Mm-hmm.
I was just as surprised. I see that. I'm like, what is happening? Especially since the Blackpool Comic Club, they did attack Callis. So I'm like, what? What just happened here? Is he aligning with them, or is he just running off from Kenny?
We'll find out next week. It makes me want to watch the show next week. It makes me want to find out Callis' motivation. This is how you tell stories. I know a lot of people were mad about this, and not mad in the, some were mad in the good way, some were mad in the bad way. There was a lot of people saying, it's rude. The throwing a good match. The throwing a good match. I don't want to see things like this in my wrestling. I don't want to see this.
It caused a gorgeous reaction off Twitter, and you did your job when you piss off Amy. And for those in the AEW community, you know exactly who Amy is.
Who is she again? No disrespect, but who?
Let me find the tweet.
No, I'm not worried about the tweet. Who is Amy?
She. Here it is. She is.
Like, no offense, but like, who is Amy?
Russell Joy. She runs Russell Joy.
Oh. Nope. Yeah. That's good, because that's eliciting a reaction other than banger match 5 stars. That's you. As a company, you should be going for more of that reaction than banger match 5 stars. There's a place in wrestling for the banger match 5 stars, but when you're selling pay-per-views and telling stories on a week-to-week basis, this is what you need. This is exactly what you need.
What was your reaction seeing that?
I was shocked. I want, and I want to see how Kenny recovers from this. I want to see why Don did it. I want to see the story play out.
Yeah. Now, I don't mean to ruin the moment a little bit, because I tried to research whether Don Callis has ever done this in his life, and it turns out he actually has, just on the indie circuit level, and apparently it was from 4 years ago or so, but actually, no, it can't be. But anyways, it was an old video that Callis did portray Kenny at one point, but knowing both their history is, these guys are honestly sometimes completely inseparable, whether you cheer for Kenny or Callis, or you boo these guys. And we especially saw the chemistry with, Kenny being the cleaner again and the belt collector. But yeah, this is just unreal. It was like Paul Bearer refusing to give the urn. It was like Paul Heyman turning his back on Brock Lesnar. I literally do think...
My reaction, and I said this in the group, this is the worst thing Callis has done since he carried out TNN's wishes to strip Rob Van Dam of the ECW television title 1 month to the day shy of RVD holding that belt for 2 years.
Ouch. Yeah, but yeah, if we ever do a top 10 of our favorite wrestling turns, whether for good or evil, this is definitely in my top 10. I thought that was perfect story arc right here. But again, we shall see how this plays out.
Yes, that's the big takeaway. Is I want to see how this plays out. And to me, as much as I just said that, wow, Kenny and Mox haven't had their big epic match yet, I'd rather have this at the end of it, with me extremely interested to see where the story goes and see what happens with the characters involved in the story. I'd rather have a good match and have that than a banger and not have that. So, flame away at me in the comments section below.
Yeah. But if we didn't have this turning ending, would the match still have been as hyped as it was?
No, not at all. No.
Okay.
Not in my opinion. I mean, I once again, it's wow, it was really good, but it's not a match of the year candidate in my opinion. I'm not saying that it
Put
was
in my
like.
top 10.
I'm not saying it
I
would be
always think it's a
bad.
good
Well,
hardcore match.
that's not. It's not even in my top 10. But I've watched a significant amount of wrestling from over the span of 3 different promotions this year. So
we're halfway through the year, so we still got halfway to go with more hopeful banger matches in the future.
This is more important than a banger.
Yeah.
Sue me.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, apparently there was an online video. One of the backstage interviews tried to talk to Callis, and all you hear is just no comment, and him just running off like a coward.
Make you tune in next week to see what happens.
Yeah. And apparently Christian Cage literally tried to warn us last year that Don Callis is nothing but a carny piece of...
Yeah.
Or was it actually 2 years ago?
2 years ago now.
Yeah.
So. All right. Now we're talking Raw. Starts off with a Cody Rhodes interview about the World Title Tournament, and the World Title Tournament kicks off the show with a match between Seth Rollins, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Damian Priest. This is a really good match. Rollins ended up getting the win, advancing to the semifinals of the tournament. Really good match. Not a match of the year candidate before everybody wants to come and claim that, like, and this was also one of those. It's not going to be a match of the year, but it was a really good match. All right. Next we have Mustafa Ali versus Otis. This was not as good of a match. Next up, we have the next triple threat match in the World Championship Tournament. Cody Rhodes versus Finn Balor versus The Miz. This match was okay. It wasn't as good as the first one. During the match, Brock Lesnar interferes and takes Cody out of the match, leaving Finn Balor to defeat The Miz, but eliminating Cody Rhodes from this tournament. I thought that was a good call. This isn't the title that's to Cody's story, so therefore you don't have Cody look bad in losing in this tournament, but you can still get him out of this tournament and continue the story with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar beats up Cody, says that he wants a fight with Cody at Night of Champions. Yeah, this was a great way to do this. Dana Brooke and Rhea Ripley. Dana Brooke's gotten better,
Dana
but
Brooke
she's
still has a job?
yeah, she's doing better, but she's still just kind of eh. And the match was kind of eh, but Rhea Ripley won, so cool. Next up, we have Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus Imperium. This was really good. Good competitive match, and they're hyping up how Gunther is making his Raw debut next week with the. And I like this. I like how they're making Gunther feel like a big deal. I like how they're treating the Intercontinental Championship like it's a big deal. So that's good. Nikki Cross.
Still calling him Walter though, but okay.
Do what?
Sorry. Still gonna call him Walter, but I know, just beating a dead horse here.
Yeah, because he's doing really good under his new name, and yeah. Sometimes people just need to let shit go.
Too. I know.
Nikki Cross took on Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark was drafted to Raw from NXT. Okay match, but Zoe Stark won. Nikki Cross did a good job making her look like a big deal. And it's a good way to debut somebody who the fans who don't watch NXT might not be as familiar with. So, kudos there. Trish Stratus did an interview and Becky Lynch came back and attacked Trish, and Trish ran away. They're Trish still has it in her to, even with all the respect she commands, to be on the bad side of things, and I'm here for it. Shows why she's one of the greatest of all time. Xavier Woods wrestled Dominic Mysterio. This was a good match. Dominic's really getting better, and Woods has always been good. Cody Rhodes did accept Brock Lesnar's challenge. And then finally we have the match to determine who will go on to United Champions to compete for the World Heavyweight Championship. Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. Seth Rollins won, which I'm sure the internet's going to take absolutely, really, really well. They're going to accept that and move on. They're not going to complain about it whatsoever. But it was a really good match. It was a really good match, and dare I say the right person won.
Yeah.
Because,
and in a miracle sense, he didn't fucking injure Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. But I feel like Seth is probably the best choice for this championship, and they seem to be going.
I don't mind it.
They seem to be going with that. So there you go. Now we go to SmackDown. First match on SmackDown is the first match of the World Championship Tournament. Why they're having SmackDown people, and this is going to be a belt for Raw, I have no idea. That part of the equation I think is stupid, and it's bad storytelling, and it's bad writing. But you want bangers? Here's a banger for you. Edge versus AJ Styles versus Rey Mysterio. So,
Boy.
yeah. This was great. AJ defeated Edge to move on and go to the finals later that night. Great match. Great way to open up the show. Lousy writing. Lousy writing. Why are SmackDown guys on there? Like, on one hand, I love the match, and I love the fact that they had them in the match. On the other hand, why are the SmackDown guys competing for this belt? Next up, we have the next triple threat match for a place in the semifinals for the World Championship. See above on my idea of that writing. It is Bobby Lashley versus Sheamus versus Austin Theory. Yeah. Lashley beat Theory. It was okay. It wasn't as good as the other triple threat match, but it's still good. Bobby Lashley is very underrated, and I don't think he gets the respect he deserves, especially here on the internet. But he wrestles for WWE and doesn't wrestle in internet-based style, so yeah. Cameron Grimes wrestled Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin, much like Jay White and Matt Taven, are the answers to questions no one asks. So this match was not that great, but Cameron Grimes won, which, again, that's
apparently
good.
In 3 seconds.
That's good. Yeah, it makes him look really good, which is what they need to do to make Cameron Grimes, because not everybody watches NXT and may not be familiar with them, make it seem like he's a big deal. So, kudos there for making the NXT guys look good, that are guys and girls, I should say, that have been drafted to the main roster and make them look good. So, Roman Reigns returned to SmackDown. He berated Jimmy and Jey Uso. Got mad at them for dedicating a match to the Tribal Chief and losing. Said, "Why would you dedicate a tag match to me? He's not in a tag team." And he said at Night of Champions, there will be a tag team title match. But it will be Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens taking on Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. And then he ended it by saying, this match is dedicated to the greatest tag team of all time, Alpha and Sika, the Wild Samoans. This was an awesome interview. Again,
Not wrong there.
I still feel like he shouldn't be the world's champion right now, or the WWE champion, or anything, but Still, this was good. They could still be doing the story, and it would make even to me it would be even better if he wasn't champion.
See, if he didn't have the belts, it would make sense. But I'm like, dude, why? Like, he is the undisputed champion. Sorry, lost my voice for a moment, but
He wants two belts.
Now you're going to be having somebody that's got this long ass winning streak with the championship, and he might potentially lose that at Night of Champions for a meaningless tag team match.
It's not meaningless. They've done they're doing a better job with the tag division than AEW right now. Sorry, I'm not sorry I said that.
But if it was like anyone else that wants to be associated with Bloodline, sure, but why your world champion?
Because he's sticking it to the Usos. The story now is him being an asshole to Jimmy and Jay. So instead of him using his pull to set up them getting another shot, he's being an asshole and saying, you're not getting it. Me and the Bloodline guy that doesn't let me down, Solo Sikoa, are getting it. It's something that a dick would do, and he's being a dick.
But you're basically going to set him up to to win the tag belts.
Either he loses, or either he wins. Either they win the tag belts, which I'm not only on that idea, but or Solo gets the win for him, and that's good for Solo. Solo takes a loss, and Roman's protected. Or maybe Sami Zayn pins Roman Reigns, and down the road, Sami Zayn can get another match at it, which is what everybody fucking wanted back in February. Cody Rhodes should have just fucking gone to main event and gotten the fuck out off their TV, at least on the internet, not according to the people that, paid money to be in the crowd. But everybody wanted that shit then. And this is more story to it. I don't see a problem.
But even if you have Solo taking the pin, a loss is still a loss.
No one has... The storyline is not... He lost at the end of last year in a tag match for he to take the pin. The story isn't that he hasn't lost in however many days. He has not been pinned. He's lost tag matches, but he's not been pinned. Roman Reigns has not been pinned. So if Roman Reigns does get pinned in this match by Sami Zayn, by Kevin Owens, that's a big fucking deal and good for Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens. You could put more doubt in the Bloodline with Solo Sikoa losing the match. The only thing that would not be good, in my opinion, would be Roman Reigns getting the pin. That's like there are levels to what's good. That is like at the very bottom of the levels. That is basement. You're hitting B on the elevator with that one.
I mean, SmackDown is sadly a B show, but
I don't think they're the B show anymore. They're on network TV and they have the face of their company on their show. SmackDown is totally not the B show right now.
God forbid it gets a third hour.
But no, nothing wrong with this, despite what the IWC will tell you, in my opinion. But I'm the black sheep of the IWC, so what can you do? Women's tag team match. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Damage Control. This match was good. Teasing more tension with Io and Bayley. And yeah. Good. Just check out the match. Good storytelling. Good match. Cool. So Bianca Belair was going to have a championship celebration. She's still the Raw Women's Champion, even though she's on SmackDown now, which on one hand, I'm happy they didn't just trade the belts like candy like they've done before, but it's still kind of weird and doesn't make sense. They should kind of go for neutral names, like I said weeks ago. Don't call it the Raw Women's title, call it like the Universal Women's Champion, and the other one, the WWE Women's Champion, and there you go. That's what you did with the men's belts. Do it with the women's. But instead, Asuka comes out and acts like she's going to help her celebrate, but then she missed Bianca, effectively turning Asuka back to the bad side and setting up possibly another match with Asuka and Bianca Belair. I'm not going to complain about that. They do great together.
I'm not complaining. No, their chemistry dates back to NXT level.
No, they don't really do much on NXT together. Like, Rise Bianca was kind of coming in, Asuka was going out, so. Alright, so main event for the night, Bobby Lashley versus AJ Styles. I think I liked their match they had on Raw late last year better than this one, but it was some just felt off, and I don't know if they were trying to sell the Lashley injury, and that's why it felt off. It just seemed like their chemistry wasn't there, but it was still, just good. But still, better than a lot of other matches that happened this week. And AJ Styles defeated Bobby Lashley, meaning we are getting AJ versus Seth Rollins at Night of Champions. Got no problem with that. AJ and Seth Rollins are both good. They could have a really good match. Other than the fact that I don't think the belt's supposed to be on Raw, I don't understand why AJ needs to hold it, but what do I know? Again, this is kind of one of those, from a storytelling and writing perspective, I think this is awful. But, with the potential for a banger dog happening, I'm okay with it, because I'm not going to complain about Seth Rollins and AJ Styles. But the storytelling could be significantly better.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep, that is... And one last thing I should probably talk about is the Best of the Super Juniors started this week, and it has been really, really good. The round robin junior heavyweight tournament in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Back this year, the winner of the tournament getting a shot at Hiromu Takahashi, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, at Dominion in June, unless, of course, Hiromu wins, in which case he gets to call his shot. Been a good tournament so far. In A block, there is a three-way tie with 6 points with Lio Rush, Mike Bailey, and Taiji Ishimori. And in Block B, there is a 6-way tie with 4 points between Francesco Akira, Rob Eagles, Clark Connors, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Dan Maloney, and El Desperado. A couple things that stopped me. The opening night main event between Hiromu Takahashi and Mike Bailey was great. Robbie Eagles is doing a really good job in this tournament. TJP also having a good tournament, even so far as just the quality of his matches. But to me, the real standout is Dan Maloney. I've never seen him wrestle before. He's a UK independent wrestler. He's being able to compete in this tournament. Never seen the guy wrestle before, but this is my first exposure to him, and I really like him. Like his style, like what he does. He's a junior heavyweight, but he wrestles like a heavyweight. So that brings a different dichotomy than what you're used to in the juniors division, and I like it. So, yeah. That's the Super Juniors, and definitely if you get a New Japan World subscription to keep following this, because it's damn good. And yeah, that is that is the show for this week. We want to thank all of you for tuning in. If you enjoyed, please like, share, subscribe for more content, not just from the world of pro wrestling, but comic books, gaming, anime, and all things geek culture. Follow me on my social media accounts, facebook.com/athleticgeekA9, Twitter, athletic_geekA9, Instagram, athleticgeekA9, and I'm on Patreon if you'd like to, give money to hear my not real wrestling takes by saying that AEW can improve on some things. Your money will be my money. May or may not spend it on drugs. If you get that reference, can of Coke. Easy, social media?
Yes, so you can follow me at the Twitter ID RIKZARINS. You can not just talk wrestling with me, you can just talk all kinds of sports and just random jibber jabber. And also just end things on a high note with NASCAR, since we're both huge NASCAR fanatics. They were in Darlington for the throwback weekend, and Willie Byron winning it in that beautiful, beautiful chrome paint scheme that he had. And also, dear Ross Chastain, stop making us trying to turn on you. Sincerely, me.
And you can also tell Kyle Larson to fuck off, too, with the way he raced this week.
Well, more people have been saying Ross Chastain's been racing dirty, and slowly but surely, I'm almost starting to agree with them.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to criticize a Hendrick driver. They do everything right all the time.
Yeah. But on an IndyCar side of news, Alex Polo winning the Grand Prix at the Brickyard, and I don't know, possible front runner and favorite for the 500. We'll see. So,
or he could get bumped from the field. You never know. But yeah. But still, Kyle Larson, you're disappointing me, man.
Yeah. Well, if a Hendrick wins, then I'm happy. I don't care who.
Well, much like the AEW fans, then don't be mad when Ross Chastain wrecks you, because Kyle Larson does it too.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Larson kind of did wreck John Hunter Nemechek in the Xfinity race. If you didn't see that ending,
that's what I'm saying. He's a fucking. That's what I'm saying. Everybody got all mad. Why did he do that to me? And then he does that to John Hunter Nemechek in a series he doesn't even race in for a win that means nothing to him. And he was just as guilty of Chastain and Darlington. So yeah, he's no saint, but he has that Hendrick logo on him, so people think he's a saint.
At least now the best comeback story in all of motorsports is happening. North Wilkesboro is back. Yeah. This week is the All-Star race.
Hopefully it's a good race.
A meaningless race, but they're at a very beautiful track.
Well, hopefully the racing is good. We will see.
Yes.
Just like we will see why Don Callis turned on Kenny Omega.
That too.
For Easy, I am the Athletic Geek. We're just Marks, and we're out. Good one.